Hey everybody, today's words to live by are going to be a little longer than usual, and I think once I start, you'll understand why. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. And I think probably most of you know that that's from Teddy Roosevelt. It was part of a speech he gave in Paris called Citizenship of the Republic. And I believe those remarks were delivered in 1910. So we're in 2025 right now, and it's over a century old. And it's one of those that I wish every person in every generation could read, and really sort of meditate on almost, because I think it's so important. I first saw those or read those remarks from his speech when I was in fourth or fifth grade. I can't remember which. I can remember where I was sitting, but I can't remember if it was fourth or fifth grade, but it was for sure in grade school. And the effect it had on me was profound, and it still is to this day. And in fact, if I go too long without reading it and really thinking about it, I'll dust it off and sort of remember okay, I have to read The Man in the Arena again. Because I think for me at a young age, in its most simple view, it's better to try and fail than to not try at all. That was that was my fourth or fifth grade brain sort of taking that taking that advice from it. I think there's nuances like crazy throughout this where, it taught me that, okay, I'm going to pursue some big things in my life. I'm going to try to achieve a couple things that are difficult. And along the way, there's going to be people who probably are going to try to, be critical and bring me down because they can't sort of see the path or see the dream like I see the dream. And it also taught me, because I was a big sports fan and still am, it also taught me to respect other people's journeys and respect what other people are trying their hardest to do. And we see this. Have you ever heard the term armchair quarterback? That's for basically anybody who is sitting on their couch while they're criticizing athletes who are trying their hardest. If an athlete misses a free throw or drops a pass or throws an interception or hits a double fault or duck hooks one off the tee, that kind of thing. It's like we're sitting on our couch criticizing these people who are doing their best. And we do this not just in sports. I mean, you can talk about most walks of life, right? Where, people who are not actually in the arena doing the deeds are being criticized by people who aren't even trying to be in the arena. And that, I think, is the point. And that's why I took so much out of it, and why both I tried my very hardest and continue to try my hardest in everything I do. And I also respect people who are also wired the same way. And I just think it's a better way to go through life, as the end of that quote says, cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. And so to me, it was like always, I would rather try to taste victory and know the joys of victory, understanding that there will be failure and defeats along the way. So if I could manage those setbacks and challenges, it would be sort of worth it for the joy that you feel. And so, one approach sort of takes a very sort of straight line emotionally, and then the other one has some ups and downs. And so it's kind of a preference on which direction you want to take, and which pendulum, or how the pendulum sort of swings emotionally, whether it stays straight or if it goes right to left emotionally. So I think this is just an unbelievably inspiring quotation from Teddy Roosevelt. And, to this day, it still, like I said, affects me. If I go too long where I remember, like, gosh, I really need to read The Man in the Arena again, I will remember to do it, and I'll just kind of snap back into, like, it's okay to be trying difficult things and to be doing some things that are untraditional. And there are going to be a lot of people who don't understand what I'm trying to do, and they don't understand the effort that I'm taking, and that's okay. But it can't sort of take me off the path. It can't sort of take me from what my purpose and my meaning is. And so I would rather be pursuing that than listening to people and just sitting on the sidelines. So I think it's a real call to action for all of us. So this was an extended version of Words to Live By today, but I hope you took something out of it, like I do every time I read this and speak it. So if you did, please hit the like and or subscribe button, and I will see you all again very soon.